Hi, my name is Aaron Frisby. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Um, So, Aaron, you are joining us from, as you said, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Let's dive right into what inspired you to become a dancer. As a male dancer, we often are thrown into it, either by, a parent basically saying, if I don't get them into something, they'll never succeed.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes it's that sports isn't available to us, and so that's the only thing option for us. So what is your story as to how you got into dance?
Well, I always was a dancing kid at the parties, around the house. I just would always be dancing. So, um, my mom, she put me into dance school like when I was 7, and I started out in sorry, I started out in hip hop, but then later on down the line, I started to branch out into like ballet and modern and tap, acrobats, a lot of different styles of dance. And I never stopped. It just became something that I grew to love. I didn't ever do any type of sports or any other type of hobbies. It was always just dance from that point on. Um, I got to, I would say like eighth grade, around seventh or eighth grade, and that's when I started to see a lot more male dancers that I could look up to. And I think that's one of the reasons why I continue to keep dancing, because I was inspired by the way they danced, and I just wanted to. I always say I would want to look like that one day, or I would want to dance like them, or have the maturity of their dancing. So
Hmm.
I had a lot of inspiration to keep me going, and I don't know. I just love dancing. I don't know. I just don't ever see myself doing anything else.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
yeah, it's just that's what it is. I don't know.
I can totally understand that. It's almost an overwhelming sensation to find that one thing that sends you to the next level of your being. And I think for me personally, and it sounds like for you, dance did that. It kind of set you on a path as to how your life is going to be led. And like you said, you saw great examples of men dancing on stage and having a presence that was you wanted to emulate.
Right.
Um, I started dance early. I started at 3.
Mm.
Um, and so I basically was originally following in my sister's footsteps.
Okay.
And she kind of was like, eh, dancing, it's too hard, it's too much work. And I want to do all these other 16 other things. And I was like, tapping on my mother's fireplace. Well, my mother, I say my mother, my parents, they are still together. They are wonderful people. Everyone's like, you just talk about your mother all the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is my mother. And I have a lot of dramatic moments that are really hilarious. But yeah, I was tapping on my fireplace at the age of 3. She said to save my life, basically, to keep me from busting my head on this fireplace, get me in some classes. And it's the only thing that I've ever committed to all the way and continue to after injuries and all the other sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And honestly, I didn't grow up seeing a ton of male figures dancing. I think my focus was a little bit more limited. I trained at a studio early on that didn't have any male dancers beside myself. Um, and then one of my teachers showed a video and she was like, I can't take you any further in your dance career. I'm gonna send you elsewhere. I'm gonna encourage you to go to the ballet company that's down the road and train with them. So that was my first initial exposure at like 10 to real men dancing and seeing them in
Right.
the studio. And I was like, oh, this is a this is a thing. This is a real career. This is
This is
somewhere
what
I can go.
people do.
I was like, this is legit. I can do this for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, my mother's like, go do some sports, try some
uh,
other things, see what else
right.
is out there. I was like, and I didn't understand at the time. My mother tells, and everyone says this to most dancers, you're never going to make money. And I was like, well,
Mm,
happiness, money.
right. If I'm doing what I love, that's all that matters.
If they coincide somehow magically, then that's even more better. But if as long as I'm
Hmm.
still loving the life I'm living, then I'm
Right.
golden. So you mentioned, I want to dive in a little bit deeper. You mentioned some male figures. Is there anyone in particular that inspires you? That like, if you saw that they were going to perform tomorrow, like in the theater next door, and you could not possibly get a ticket because the tickets were really sold out, and you had to like pound on the back door of the stage to see if somebody would let you in to see it from the back of the house. Who would it be?
Mhm. I always get tricked up when I have this question because I have so many. But
I know, that's why I was very specific about the situation. There is
I,
somebody that you're like, I would
I
literally,
know.
I would literally go through the tundra to see this person just because they're that beautiful. Like mine is not necessarily to see him perform, but just to see his process is Stephen
Uh,
McRae from.
mm,
Let me not put the name of the company out there because right now I'm blanking. But Stephen McRae, um, I follow him and watch like all of his process. He had an injury where he had surgery and his comeback from that
mm.
surgery. I'm just like, this person is awe-inspiring in terms of dedication, finesse, and all that jazz. So,
I think I would have to say Desmond Richardson.
okay, yeah.
I remember seeing him. I used to watch a lot of videos on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I would always watch Ailey, of course. Um, and I just remember watching this one clip from episodes, and he just like, I don't know, his like presence. I don't know, it just caught my eye. He just had my whole attention, and I just was, I don't know, he moves in a, I don't know, like it's hard to explain, but he it's almost mesmerizing watching him dance, and not even just in episodes, like a lot of pieces he's done with the company. I just never get enough of watching him, and for him to be still, active in his career
Hmm.
is also inspiring as well. Seeing how like long lasting someone's career can be, that that's also inspirational and motivating. So I don't know. I've never seen him dance live, but I would love to. I feel like that would be a great day for me.
I can concur with that. I think that he's an amazing individual. His work ethic, the people that he keeps around him, um, the way that he has sustained his body, most definitely.
Hmm.
Um, that's kind of why I stay with GCDC, is because of the people that come through here, uh, have built up a legacy, but a lot of them, like myself, stay for many, many years. And we take care of ourselves, but we also
Right.
take care of each other. Sherry is phenomenal in terms of making sure we're physically fit, but also having the knowledge to say, okay, you got to pull back here, and
Right.
these are the things that you might want to consider. Um, we have a great person named Carol who is a physical therapist in the area, but she specifically works with dancers. Like that's her focus, and she's created this whole entire program built around the dancers' aesthetics and what they need. So longevity is something that we pride ourselves in. I can definitely see that that's something that you're aspiring towards. Sorry,
Yeah.
really need to say.
I get it. I have a puppy as well.
Oh,
So
what's her
I
name?
Coco.
Coco. Yeah.
I just kicked her out right before we got on.
Will you be bringing Coco down with you?
No, she's more of a family pet. She's not just mine.
Ah.
So she's gonna stay here.
Ah. Well, we love pets, so make sure you take tons of photos before you leave.
I know.
Okay, so let's dive into your education.
hmm I recently graduated. I guess you could say graduated, but I was a part of the scholarship program at the Ailey School, and I did 2 years there. So I just finished up my second year, but we didn't really get to finish all the way through because of the pandemic. But I still got my certificate and everything because we did Zoom classes and stuff. But yeah, I honestly could say that being at the Ailey School, I feel as though that's where I got the most out of my training. I feel like that's where I grew the most as a dancer and as an artist. So I credit the AV school a lot, and I'm very thankful that I got the opportunity to be there for 2 years.
Mhm.
I think it's like I said, I think it's helped me grow into a very more mature dancer. Not saying that my dancing wasn't mature before then, but I feel like you know I was exposed to a lot more when I got to the AV school.
Yeah, I
Um,
think all those programs that are beyond the high school level, um, that's what they're built for, is to push you really, really fast into
yeah.
professional. Um, I accredit my college and my senior year program in high school for how quickly I got to professionalism because
Mm,
even though I was training at a ballet company school, the teachers could only invest so much. You know, they've got 125 students under the age of blah blah blah, in addition to 300 students over the age of blah blah blah, and it's just they can only invest in you personally so much, and you have to do the work. When I went to college, it definitely became here's the level that you can reach. And if you want to stay behind, you can still graduate. But if you want to move forward, you better get in with the people who are moving that fast and learn
right.
quickly. So I imagine that that's kind of part of the program. Did you feel as though there was a drive behind, like somebody pushing you forward, or were you working on your own to get this far?
Um, do you mean in the school or just in general, like
Like
somebody?
in the school, was there a mentor per se who was like,
Uh,
the instant you came in was like, you've got to work hard when you're here, and I'm going to make sure and see that you're working hard? Or were there people who were just teaching in a way that it really clicked with
I know a lot of I didn't necessarily have a mentor while I was there, but I know a lot of teachers took to my dancing and they saw something in me, so I would get that push
you? Mm-hmm.
out of a lot of the teachers there. Um, but most of it was me as well because I knew that I was getting older. Now I'm not going to be in school forever,
Mm-hmm.
so I knew that this was the time to really dive into being a sponge and taking in everything that I can because I'm not going to be it. Like it's time to get out there and it's time to work. You're not going to be in school forever. So I just really, when I got there, I just knew I had to work hard, and I got the push as well from my teachers. Um, yeah, I didn't really have a mentor, but I had help. I did have help. I
That's
did get advice from like different teachers. Um, yeah.
I always tell students, and I said this to Sidel as well, that you should never be satisfied with the people that are in front of you alone. Always be seeking more from
Right.
them. So if the person in the front of the room can only take you to level B, but you really feel that you're capable to make it to M, and then your real goal is Z, go speak to the person who is teaching at M.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them anything. Ask them what is your strengths, your weaknesses. Can they evaluate you? And somebody eventually is going to say yes and see potential, because the majority of artists are looking to share. They're not looking to hold it in, because it's my belief that as an artist, it's your duty to give back.
Mm.
We have learned so much and attained so much that we have, like, it's, in order to keep it alive, you have to give back.
Right.
Back to me.
I agree.
So tell me a little bit about, like, you as a person. What other things make you tick? Like, I have hobbies, and they're galore. I knit, I bake, I garden, I video design, study foreign languages, which I need to get back to.
Mm.
And I have this one who now rules my life.
Uh,
So what keeps you happy outside of dance? What is the thing that, when dance does frustrate you, because no person around the world can ever say that dance doesn't give them a moment where they're like, I just need to breathe from it.
right.
It's a physical thing. You're gonna find moments that you just can't. So what would you turn to?
I am a homebody at heart. I love to chill in the house, watch TV. That's if I'm not dancing, I'm most likely in the house, relaxing, doing something very chill. And that recently has become what I do. I don't know. I guess like as I get older, I like to just be at home and chill. I don't really
You,
have that
you
many
keep saying
other.
as I get older, as if you're like 50.
I'm getting up
You'd be
there.
like, how old is he? I'm
Look,
old over here at this point. Say
I'm gonna
what?
be 24
You
in 2 weeks.
I remember that. And I could say that finally. Like, I used to be like, oh, I remember being 24 and I was still only 28. Now that I'm 35, I'm like, oh, I remember 24. I remember that was the age where I should have still been like, I still got gumption. I still got the ability to. I should be over here doing everything, doing all the things. Now I'm like, about that back handspring, back tuck, to the layout, to the pirouette,
Listen.
and into the split. I can give you the pirouette into the split, and I can give you a back bend, but we may not be walking after
Okay.
the back bend.
But that's crazy because that's how I feel now. This is exactly how I feel right now. But that's what
I
I'm
used
saying.
to be
Like,
that person who was like, every time something would come up, I'd be like, "Oh, you want to try some weird thing? Okay, let me fly at this with full gumption, not knowing what the word I'm doing, and possibly injure myself." And then now I'm like, you want me to dance in tennis shoes? Homebody. Let's go back to that,
yeah.
because that will
I
work
don't
out
really,
perfectly here.
I don't really do much outside of dancing. I like to chill with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like to. I don't know. I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't have any other hobbies. I guess. I guess my hobbies would be to. You know what? I did have a hobby, but I don't do it anymore because I just don't have the resource
Mm-hmm.
right now. But for a minute, when I was in New York, I would go to the performing arts library and I would watch a whole bunch of old um, dance performances from like
Oh,
different
then you and
companies.
Devin would get along just fine.
Yeah,
Devin is
I
that
did that
person.
like I did that like every weekend. Like I was at that library for hours every weekend, and I would just, it's you by yourself. It's quiet, so
Hmm.
that ties into me, being in the house alone. So it worked out perfectly. So I know I just don't. I don't know. If I'm not dancing, like I said, I'm in the house chilling. I
Oh,
don't.
that's fine. I mean, when people come to Dayton and they either figure out one of two things, that they can find a way to survive outside of like a social life, like becoming a homebody or becoming very focused on career. Or they say, I got to get out of here. There's not enough life here. I have to move away. Like the company is what brings us here. What keeps us here is the family of the company. What won't keep you here is if you desire to be the life of the party and a social scene.
Hmm.
Downtown Dayton, it does not exist.
I know we were down there, and we were like, it's not here.
No, you're like, there's no shopping center, anything down here, and it all closes at like 5:30.
Yeah, you were looking. We were like, "Where's everything at?" I was like, "I don't know."
I told Sadell, I was like, she's going to need to get a car. Either one of you needs to have a car because this is a
Hmm.
city where public transportation, while safe and reliable, doesn't get you everywhere.
I know.
And you also don't want to be on the bus for an hour and a half trying to get to the mall. Like,
Hmm.
I tried it for a couple of weeks.
You
I was
said you
like,
can't do it. I can't
about
do
this, I've got to find some other way.
it.
And this was before Uber, and I was like, got to find a way. So being a homebody is great. Most of us actually are just like we call each other up and hang out after work, so that will work in your favor. Like just having people who are
Hmm.
also wanting to just chill.